News that's coming in, it's NATO that has warned India that there could be sanctions over India's ties with Russia. NATO in a statement said sanctions if Russia-India business ties carry on. NATO chief said Brazil, China and India, they could be slammed with sanctions. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte has warned that countries such as Brazil, China and India could be hit very hard by secondary sanctions if they continue to do business with Russia. He made these comments while meeting with the senators in the US Congress, a day after US President Donald Trump announced new weapons for Ukraine and threatened a secondary tariff, 100% tariff on buyers of Russian exports unless there is a peace deal in the next 50 days.
If you are the president of China or the prime minister of India or the president of Brazil, and you are still trading with the Russians and getting the oil and the gas in, and you sometimes even resell it for a higher price, know that if this guy in Moscow doesn't get serious about peace talks, I will slam secondary sanctions on you of 100%. So I'm sure they don't know yet what hit them.
My colleague Pranay Upadhyay, editor IT Global, is now joining me on the story. Pranay, we are seeing these pressure tactics being put in. It's the US President Donald Trump time and again trying to make sure that there is some kind of a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine.
Aishwarya, Mark Rutte, who is the Secretary General of NATO, is often being termed as the sycophant for President Donald Trump. The kind of language he's using and the way he speaks, to please President Donald Trump clearly shows that he has definitely gone beyond his brief, but definitely he holds an important position as far as the global affairs is concerned. And therefore, if he is inducing or if he's trying to influence President Donald Trump to put secondary sanctions on US, India, on India, China and Brazil, clearly this is going to impact the US economy, because Aishwarya, if you see, the tariffs are already impacting the US economy. India and US are already in a very advanced stage of striking or closing a bilateral trade agreement. But if President Donald Trump decides to turn it, then it is going to waste the US efforts as well, and it is going to impact the US economy. But having said that, I think these are his personal opinion. This is how he has put across things. But as far as the US policies are concerned, President Donald Trump did indicate that he might go for for secondary sanctions against Russia, against those countries who are dealing and doing trade with Russia, to put pressure on Russia. But he has already given 50 days, term for Russia to have a deal with Ukraine and close the negotiations with Ukraine.